be playing at the Salida Jazz Festival this afternoon. So away we go.
Yes, we're broadcasting live from Cahan Radio Station in downtown Salida, 106.9 on your dial. And today we are showcasing the band Basilaris. They are a jazz fusion band from Albuquerque, and they'll be performing at the Salida Jazz Festival today at Riverside Park, and their start time is 4:30. Without any further ado, we'd like Basilaris to play us a song. Very nice. You are listening to Basilaris on KHEN. I'd like to do some formal introductions of the band. We have Lukas Scarpetta on electric bass. We have Mike Jaramillo on drums and percussion, Daniel Murphy on guitar, and Scott Jacobsen on saxophone and keyboards. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. Great to be here.
You bet. Glad to have you guys here in Salida. My first question for you is Basilaris, the name of the band. How did you get that name?
Well, it's the name of a cactus. It's a type of prickly pear cactus. It grows in a desert, mostly in Southern California, and we had some other names of cactuses that were actually taken. This one wasn't.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, specifically it's known as the beaver tail cactus. It's a cactus that has what are known as glochids, which are small stipules that instead of extruding spines have small hairy little barbs that will still poke you pretty good. And you do find spines on these cactus as well, but basically the patterning resembles what you might see on a beaver tail, and that's why it's the beaver tail cactus.
Okay, nice. So you guys are known to tour New Mexico, Colorado, and I hear sometimes California.
We've been as far as California on one occasion before, but we'd like to go back as soon as we can.
All right. And so this isn't your first time in Salida. Tell us about how often you come up here and what your experience has been.
Our experience in Salida has been overwhelmingly positive. It's one of our very favorite places to play in all the places we played. We first started coming here in 2022, playing at Highside right there on the river. It's our good friends. Shout out to Highside. If you haven't checked them out, check them out. They're great people, always have great music. We were very fortunate to pick up the Jazz Festival slot in 2023, and we've been equally fortunate to be welcomed back for this year. We're extremely grateful for the wonderful reception we've gotten in Salida, and we love being here. Thank you.
Great. We're glad you're here. Love your style of music. We don't always get this style out here, but it's nice and refreshing when we get to hear it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So the high side is an underwriter for us. So we're really up on the high side too, for sure.
Oh,
Good thing they're
Well,
not a competitor, yeah.
Yeah, word to Highside. Those Chief and Angela and everybody over there. Thank you for welcoming us to Salida in the first place. And were it not for your open-mindedness and willing to entertain this sort of music, well, we wouldn't be here on the radio today. So mega thanks to them.
Well, they perform quite the community service by presenting live music for free.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we came in last night. There was a great band playing. We had a nice dinner, and looking forward to playing there next month, actually, as well.
That's correct.
Yeah.
In
great.
September, we'll be back.
Awesome. So you guys have, I think I saw you have 3 albums released.
That's correct, sir.
And your most recent one just dropped here in June.
That's right. The most recent one dropped in June. We've got a more expansive palette of instrumentation on this album than we have previously. That's not to discount the quality of the previous 2, of course, but it is. We experimented with new things, and I think it came out really nice.
Great. And I noticed you had previously been touring as a trio, and now you're a 4-piece.
That's correct.
With the addition of Daniel on guitar. And tell us how that came about.
There's a bass player in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's called Arthur Metters. He's pretty much considered by most around there to be top dog of bass in Albuquerque, and I'm happy to count him amongst my friends. And he suggested that if this group Basilaris were to ever incorporate guitar, we should check out an individual by the name of Daniel Murphy. And I looked at his Instagram, and I agreed with that assessment. And I reached out to Daniel, and the rest is history. So
Yeah, I didn't actually find out. I ran into Arta at a luthier show maybe a few shows after starting to play with Basilaris, and he informed me that he had kind of thrown my name in the hat. And we've been kind of just ambiently musician friends. We would see each other at the Albuquerque airport on the way to the NAMM show and things like that. And I actually had no idea that he had volunteered me for the recommendation. So all this kind of transpired with me learning a bunch of material first, and then I later found out that I'd been set up. So it's been great. Yeah.
What a pleasant surprise.
Absolutely.
I think it's really added a lot to your sound. And so tell me about, so your latest album is hieratic style.
That's correct.
And how did you guys come up with that title, and what type of sound were you trying to achieve?
So hieratic is a word that is used to refer to like the one hieratic script is a type of ancient Egyptian script. There was hieroglyphics. There was hieratic, which is like a cursive form of the ancient Egyptian language. Hieratic also refers to a certain style of sculpture in the Byzantine Empire or the late Roman Empire when they started making busts of the emperors in a very idealized way. And so we've been writing songs with these kind of ornate unison lines and stuff like that, and I felt that hieratic was an appropriate description of the direction our music was taking.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
a bit of a crossover word, but that's in short, that's the backstory for hieratic.
Yep. And all your songs are instrumental.
That's correct, sir.
So you've got representation of the feeling you were trying to get with each song.
Absolutely.
Would you be able to play a song for us off of that new album?
We sure will. This one here is called Milkshake off of the new hieratic style album. Here we go.
Nice. If you just tuned in, you're listening to Basilaris playing live for us here at KHEN. We're also live streaming on YouTube and our Facebook channel. I wanted to ask about a little bit about your history. Actually, Scott, I noticed, so you're doing double duty on
That's right.
saxophone and keys. And how many instruments do you play? Do you play other instruments besides those two?
I've tried a bunch of others, but these are the two I'm good at, so I stick to those. That's already enough for
Yeah?
me. Yeah,
All right. So did you grow up in Albuquerque?
that's right. Yeah.
And how did you come to music?
Everybody in my family is a musician. I've always been around it my whole life. It seemed inevitable that this is the path I'd follow in a lot of ways. I played piano since I was about 7 years old. I decided when I was about 14 that I wanted to be a saxophone player for my career. Then I found out later that you can't really do that. I had to diversify my skill set a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. But now I play both.
So when you started to play, what type of music were you playing, or were you covering any specific bands?
I came up very interested in straight ahead jazz. That was what I was totally focused on for many years. And then I found out about classical music when I started playing piano. Those are definitely still my two biggest influences. Yeah.
Nice. Well. So, how did you come to electric jazz fusion? What drew you to that?
That's something I've always been interested in listening to, but really when Lukas called me up and said, "You want to play in a jazz fusion band together?" That's when I started getting really serious about it. I started playing around with the keyboard and learning all the things you can do with these other sounds.
Yeah, great. Lukas, I wanted to ask you the same question. Did you grow up in Albuquerque, and how did you come to music?
Yeah, I grew up in Albuquerque, and I guess when I was elementary school, I always wanted to play music, and so in 4th grade when you could join band, then I played trumpet first, and I was kind of going with trumpet because it's a great instrument, and I did enjoy playing it. But in 7th grade jazz band, I seen a dear friend of mine who's a longtime friend of mine pick up an electric bass and start playing Primus on it. And I had no idea that a person could make such a sound out of an instrument, even a person who is my age. And it changed my perspective on music, and from then on I was determined to play electric bass.
Nice, nice. So, how did you come to focus on jazz?
Well, like when I was a teenager, and all I listened to was a lot of Mahavishnu Orchestra and Chick Corea. I loved Return of Forever and Weather Report, but I also listened to a lot of Jethro Tull, and I listened to a lot of Yes and all the prog rock stuff. And to me, jazz fusion is just like a word for a multidisciplinary type of music where you just play like what it is you feel.
Yeah, common threads going through all of those styles of music.
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah.
And in both types of music, be it the prog rock or the folk prog rock like Jethro Tull, or whether it's jazz fusion, you can explore adventurous, even fantasy themes or nature themes, all sorts of things that are not always necessarily present in either straight ahead jazz or straight ahead rock. And so to me, the music was an expression of that sort of adventurous, kind of whimsical side that I guess I'd always had.
Yeah, and you get a chance to improvise and
Oh yeah.
put your own mark on it.
Yes, sir.
Great, great. I want to ask the same question of Mike. He's out in the hall though. Mike, would you like to come in and tell us your story? Have you grown up in Albuquerque as well?
Yeah, between here and the West Coast.
Yep. And when did you start playing music?
I started late in life, so I started when I was about 17, 18 years old. I'm 50 now, so.
And what type of music did you start playing?
Right away it was kind of just covers, of rock music, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then same thing with like Lukas. I kind of got into jazz fusion before I got into jazz, so I kind of went backwards. As far as
So you
music
started with
goes.
rock and then backed into jazz, and
Yeah.
now it's jazz fusion,
Yeah.
mix of the two.
Yeah.
Great. I want to ask the same question of Daniel. Daniel,
I hope you're going to skip me. That's all right.
where are you from, and
Well,
how did you come to?
I grew up in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I was actually born on an island in Spain called Ibiza. It's kind of the notorious party island, but I found out later in life there's actually, on the off season, which is most of the year, Ibiza actually has a huge jazz scene, which was a comfort to me because I didn't want to just be from somewhere that had a huge techno scene. Not totally my thing, but yeah, I grew up in Santa Fe, and musically, my dad is from Great Britain, and so I kind of grew up with a lot of classical music and sort of a general disdain of modern things. Not myself personally, but that was kind of what was put forth to me. So it made electric guitar sort of more attractive as being something that my dad wasn't really into. He was more of like a 12-string kind of folk guy. Did a lot of songwriting stuff in the 70s in England. And yeah, I started playing pretty young, I suppose, about 10 years old, and have played with a bunch of different groups and different genres, but always found myself drawn in by whatever genre had prominent guitar features. And that's kind of where my interests have led me to playing everything from progressive metal to country to now playing jazz fusion. And yeah, it's whatever really kind of offers the guitar a little spotlight. So it's cool to be in this band which didn't have a guitar, and also a challenge to find where this instrument fits in with a trio that's been really well established with 2 albums. And yeah, it's been a blast.
Well, I need to let you know that you are listening to KHEN 106.9 FM in downtown Salida. We've got special guest Basilaris, and they're going to be playing in the Salida Jazz Festival this afternoon down in Riverside Park. Sorry to interrupt. That's a kind of a requirement. So anyway.
Yeah, well, I'm hearing quite a variety of influences and musical styles that are all blending together for jazz fusion.
Should we do one more, guys?
Scribble.
Sure.
Yeah.
We're going to play one, a very nice composition of Mr. Scott Jacobsen here called The Foolish Lay of the Scribble Throats. And this is much more in in the vein of straight ahead jazz. I mean, you could say without hesitation that it is, in fact, straight ahead jazz.
And this is off the new record.
This is also off the new record.
right, thank you. And thanks for coming to Salida and sharing your music with us.
Thank you so much, Salida, for having us. We love you guys. You're a great town. Thank you for continuing to support a great radio station like Kahan here, who so graciously had us. Thank you to Highside. Thank you to everybody at City Hall and all the great people. We appreciate you. Thank you.
We'll see you this afternoon.
We will.